morning and welcome to the Capital Gang. I am Oscar Semoyamsoke and some discussion is still going on in the studio. But in the studio, I have long lost Dr. Hon Baryomunsi. You're most welcome back to the Capital Gang.
Thank you very much, Oscar. Good morning, fellow gangsters, and good morning, listeners. I'm happy to be back.
Yes. Hopefully the voice will mend since you won a constituency vote.
I won, but part of the voice remained in Kanungu. But it is slowly coming back.
We shall get it back. And you're in a yellow shirt with some design. Are you still yellow? We are going to talk about SEC matters.
Yes.
Speaker matters. But you're no longer in SEC.
Oh, I am no longer in SEC, but a member of NRM.
Okay.
A senior one at that.
We shall see.
And I have come to paint Capital Gang yellow.
Well, opposite you is Hon Katuntu in a red t-shirt. I'm not sure if you have painted him already, but news coming on from the last time we had him, he seemed to have a paint of yellow, but he's going to speak for himself. Welcome back to the Capital Gang, Honorable.
And you know Hon is my lawyer.
That is
personal lawyer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember that saga in the parliament then?
Yes.
He's the man who
collected you from
out of the
Ginger Road. Pardon? I missed it.
Hopefully he has continued to pay retainer, not just the pronouncement that this is the lawyer.
He's not complaining.
Oh, well, I'm not complaining. Well, I'm happy to be back after some sabbatical.
Yes.
I think 2 months or so. Yeah.
Or a bit more.
Oh yeah, maybe a bit more.
Yes.
And you look great.
Thank you. You too, actually. This campaign looks like it fitted you. You look a lot fitter than when you left.
Naturally, I had to be leaner.
Yes. You have worked.
Yeah.
He's reporting one of pediatric t-shirts.
Yes.
What we are not sure of, whether you should continue sitting on that side or you move to this man who wants to paint yellow. Because from what we saw in the campaign trail, that is a clearing up that is immediately required.
No, I don't know, but yes, I had the choice of a candidate, and a presidential candidate, and that candidate was President Museveni.
Right.
That is true.
Yeah.
But it had nothing to do with the yellow shirt. Yeah, but of the candidates who had offered themselves, I had one, and that candidate was President Museveni.
And his color was yellow. So
so there's a touch of yellow in you.
There is a touch of Museveni in me. Right. That way.
Well, Benjamin Katana is back on gang. Welcome back from the wars of the elections.
thank you very much, Oscar. It's always a pleasure to be back here.
Yes. Derek Wandera, journalist, young man on gang. Good to have you.
Always a pleasure, Oscar. And it's always such an opportune moment to speak on the gang. Yeah.
Malcolm Pamizo, another lawyer. You're most welcome to gang this morning.
Good morning, Oscar. Thank you very much, and a very good morning and Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year indeed.
To our listeners and viewers.
Yes. In fact, I've not seen Dr. Baryomunsi, Hon Katuntu, yourself, Malcolm Misia, so good to have you back. And I'm expecting another lawyer, Lydia Wanyoto, to come onto gang this morning after having won.
At that rate, you're about to expect
prospective House Speaker.
All the lawyers are going
Oscar, you need to introduce Lydia properly, the prospective House Speaker.
Prospective House Speaker.
Yes.
But isn't Dr. Baryomunsi also, Chris, aren't you a prospective House Speaker as well?
Absolutely.
Yes. He has been shy.
So I am eligible
to
vie, but
did you say was Lina? Some other person is
I am small.
some other person is leanest.
So Lydia Nyoto is also in the studio. Most welcome to the Capital Gang, Lydia Nyoto. And yes, you're also looking leaner than when we last saw you.
I am actually little.
I am the only person with the same size.
Who's still the same size?
Yes.
Well, you are a minister. you're a minister, so your campaigns were assisted by ministerial privilege.
That even makes it worse.
Hey.
Makes it worse. I danced all the chiga dances.
Yeah. So on to the day's topic. Chris Baryomunsi, are you standing for speaker?
No. No, I'm not standing.
You're not standing, okay.
But are you asking that in reference to the comments that I made?
That as well, but I'm saying that because Lydia Nyoto is here and she has, social media says she's standing for speaker. We are going to ask her here before we enter the discussion on the endorsement and so on. So welcome to Gang, Lydia Nyoto, Honorable. Congratulations on your win and winning convincingly in Mbale City.
I need a picture when I'm talking. Thank you, Oscar, and to the gangsters. I'm happy to be back. I've been away for a while. But thank you so much for the support.
And the three of you who've been away, Star Cafe is here waiting.
Thank you so much,
Abdu
Oscar. I must tell you that I'm forever very grateful. I felt that I had a family in the gang. Thank you so much. I had injury time, but you stood in for me. I bring you greetings from Mbale City. After 15 years, they finally said, go to Parliament massively. So I want to thank them, and I bring you greetings from Mbale City. They are listening to the gang.
They have always listened.
They've always listened, and they are going to listen more because I now speak their voice with their blessings.
So no challenges as yet?
They were tough, and the gang, I told the injury time, I had to call all of you, but that's the nature of our politics. Finally, when you are out of it, you thank God. With less flesh on the body, but the spirit is strong.
So congratulations to you.
Thank you so much.
Yes. And are you going to stand for speaker?
You see, that's
speaker?
an interesting question, because some of us would like to follow the due process. We are still having elections going on. Yeah? Even people with disability who are members of parliament are not yet elected.
Oh, I thought they were all
No, elections are still going on.
The cycle ends on the 6th of February.
We still have a cycle going on, and as members of the party, we are obliged to support. Like I've just had the elections for the youth MP, and it was held in Mbale. Then we had elections with the people. Now we are going to have elections with the army. So we are still, the election cycle is still on. But that said, there's also what we call the gazette. There has to be a general gazette. When you are just moving around with your paper of you've won elections without the gazette, my friend. So we're also waiting for the general gazette. Even you cannot run a petition before the gazette, for example. So that question is nice, but if you give me like another maybe 2 weeks after the elections and we have the gazette, I can answer with the authority. But for now, I think people can just have wishful thinking, WhatsApp groups. I'm being urged by the voters. Those are people from the community and from supporters, but legally the process.
The speaker is dragged to the chair.
Dragged. So I'm being urged, but I'm waiting for the process. And we are still having the election cycle is still going on. I'm going to be carried maybe to this chair, but for now I am running elections for my NRM candidates who are not yet done, and there are many. Yes.
Malcolm, the microphone is still on the yellow side, but just a quick comment from you. Seeing that you're the young lawyer here,
yes, Oscar.
Is Lydia speaking like a senior lawyer?
Very much so.
In terms of not saying anything.
Very much so. She's not wrong.
She's not wrong.
And
legally. But
some of what she's saying might not be legitimate. It might be legal, but not legitimate. Because if you're saying that someone is supposed to be dragged to the office, to the chair of the seat of the speaker.
Yes.
That would presuppose that no one is necessarily interested or shows the interest. But I think as we speak, that seat is occupied both in the 11th and prospectively in the 12th. There has been a declaration of interest. There has been a confirmation of that declaration, and as good an endorsement as is going to come out now. Does that mean there's going to be harmony going forward? We're speaking about legitimacy now, not legality.
Yeah.
You spoke about legality, but now in terms of legitimacy,
hold on, let the man speak.
In terms of legitimacy,
I can't see the interest. It was not going to hide for long.
The writing is on the wall.
Yeah.
I think, and I think President Museveni has always wanted to, have this some kind of predictability about some of these things. And someone has served one term, let them serve a second term, and things like that. It has happened for the Chief Justice, the deputy being elevated to Chief Justice as well, and seemingly that works. But we've also seen before that endorsement does not necessarily go down well with everybody. And I am highly expectant that there will be some tussles that happen, which I think are good for internal democracy of the party. I know that we've been on this show not so long ago speaking about how, for example, NUP identified its flag bearers for the different positions, and how maybe undemocratic that was. I think it's important that when a party is going to present itself in what should be democratic processes, it should internally exercise democracy. And democracy doesn't mean I speak, you keep quiet because you believe in what I say. It is I speak, you speak, we all speak, and then we can unanimously agree on how to move forward. But what seems to be happening right now in the NRM is a declaration has been made, and the rest, and I think early enough to ensure that
there's no jostling.
That there's no jostling. But I think it's going to happen.
Thank you,
due
Malcolm.
course.
Let's go now to the jostlers here. So, Chris, you've been arguing SEC, and you are a recent member of SEC, has pronounced itself and endorsed the current speaker and deputy speaker for the positions of speaker and deputy in the forthcoming parliament. And I think it is within their remit to do that.
You see, when President Yoweri Museveni appointed us as ministers, he said, I have appointed a cabinet of fishermen. I asked him one-on-one, why are you calling us fishermen? He said, no. For you, Dr. Hon Baryomunsi, you are not a fisherman. You are actually Rook, because Rook in the Bible was an accomplished doctor. So, for all intents and purposes, I try to work not as a fisherman.
Okay, who did he tell you were the fisherman? Now that you are, tell us the whole story.
That will be for another day. That will be for another day. So, in our discharge of public duty, I try, either as a member of NRM or a member of parliament, a member of cabinet, not to behave as a fisherman, and try to stick to what the rules say, try to avoid mediocrity, and see that we follow procedure. I have been a member of SEC, and I can say, even within SEC, we've been very critical on how the party runs and how the party functions. You recall, I lost the SEC election in the Kororo, not because I was not popular, but because, if I dare say, because of our critical nature within the SEC, I think the management, the secretariat, and people who run the party chose to remove us because we're demanding accountability, asking hard questions, because the NRM is an institution. We were saying it should run as an institution, not just as the anyhow. And I remember in the Kororo, you recall, if I voiced my concern before the president and I said, Your Excellency, there is a sham election happening here, and irrespective of the outcome, I will not be party, whether I win or not, because access control collapsed. They brought Bayaye from town. They are the ones who were voting us out, and people were voting at 3 a.m. in darkness, and I criticized the process. I said, no, I cannot be part. And I even said, Your Excellency, we need to be careful. If NRM is going to be built into a strong party, we must have institutional systems that are credible. And the president said, okay, I am going to investigate what you are saying. I am yet to ask him for the investigation report. So some of us are on record. Yes, I will ask him, actually writing, and say, you said you want to investigate. What did you find out? So some of us have been sticklers to principles. Now, you see, every parliament.
Yeah, let's dwell on that a little bit more. On that one, because you brought the SEC election into play. Some of us were surprised by your outburst on that day after that campaign. What is it that you had not seen in the NRM primaries? Because this is what had been happening. So when you came out with the outburst in SEC, all of us were really surprised. The primaries were same like that. We
not necessarily the primaries. The primaries were not as bad as like that. Yes, there are the challenges. No. Because I was there. No. Just
everyone is bursting out into that.
No, you have asked me.
Yes.
Because I've been the player. I've been an actor in that. Because they are decentralized and they were being managed in the districts. While there were challenges here and there, but you see the voting was at a village level, which is a smaller unit. You have agents there, people are lining up. It was much neater. Yes, irregularities here and there, but it was not as bad as what happened in Kororo. But in Kororo, you gather delegates from all over the country. But the people managing the election deliberately allow non-delegates to access tags because they were trying to vote some of us out. I was later told, for instance, there was an ambulance which was carrying people from Kisenyi the whole day to accessing. Now, we are there as candidates. You don't allow us to address the delegates. You don't allow the position for deputy chairperson. That's right on about Kadaga and Anita Mongo. The rest of us is just a vote. But now the delegates have not listened to us. And the voting goes on up to 4 a.m. I went to the polling station for Gwenzolo region. It was dark. I could not see somebody. When I am there, a swarm of around 200 people come to vote. So I said, what kind of election is this one? That's why I told the president, this is a sham election and it's not legitimate, and I disassociate myself with this on record before the president. That's why he said I will investigate. He's here to give me a report. So there was a difference between. Yes, that will
give you a report.
Yes, the president give me a report. So there was a difference between that SEC election and the primaries which were happening. And of course, primaries, maybe the irregularities and the level of organization varied from district to district. But at least like in the Kanungu, it was fairly well organized. Not because I won, but it was fairly well organized. It didn't have as many irregularities as what we saw in the SEC. So some of us, even within the party, have been very critical to these processes, openly, transparently, without fear or favor, and in good faith.
Yeah.
Now, fast forward the issue of the speaker. You see, we have rules of procedure for the party. Like I wrote on X, every member who has been elected to join the 12th parliament is eligible to vie for speakership. You asked me whether I want to vie. If I wanted to run, nobody should stop me from running for the speaker. And like Lydia said, the election cycle is still going on for the 12th parliament. The other day, the UPDF MPs were elected, and the youth, I think the PWDs are yet to elect, the older persons are yet to elect, I think the workers also, and all these are going to be members of parliament, some of them NRM. So ideally, technically speaking, they should also be given an opportunity. If anybody has an ambition to vie, it should not be blocked. So what should happen is that at some point, when we've been gazetted and the process of election is done, the Electoral Commission of NRM should issue a call for those who are interested to express interest, members of the 12th Parliament. Then they will write. Then the Electoral Commission will now process those applications, and then they will find their way to the Central Executive Committee. Then the Central Executive Committee should give opportunity to those who are expressing interest. They can interact with them, and then take a decision. A decision can be that yes, the current Speaker and Deputy are serving the first term. There is a culture of giving 2 terms, and they have done well. Maybe there is no serious issue which should deny them opportunity, and then they can persuade the other member, the spirit of the party. We can always deploy you elsewhere because there are many positions, chairpersons of committees, ministers, commissioners, and then people are satisfied, and then that position can be brought to the caucus. We discuss it. But also, although there is the precedence of 2 terms, we can choose to remove a speaker or a deputy. That doesn't mean that our hands are tied. So when I saw on Twitter that SEC had passed a decision to endorse the speaker, I thought it was premature. Not because I have issues with the current speakers, but some of us stick to procedure and what is required. So it's like I have been voted by the people of Chinchiz East to come to the 12th Parliament. So why do you think I cannot be a speaker, for instance? Why wouldn't you give me an opportunity? Yes, the party can eventually take a decision, but give an opportunity to all those who would want to vie. So we would want the party to run professionally, not just in a manner that is a bit haphazard. So that was the spirit upon which I made that comment, and I have no regrets. And I will still raise it when we go to the appropriate forums. That the NRM as a party and all political parties are institutions, so they must be managed well. And SEC, when I was a member of SEC, I used to tell the president, I am a vice chairperson of the region. My duty is to advise you as my chair. So I don't actually see the kind of advice the SEC we put in place. They actually discrediting themselves. Because on the first day, why the hurry? Because we want to be sworn in May. So what was the hurry to? It's as if the current speakers are fearing. Maybe they think members of parliament will not end. And they have done well. They have done well as speakers. But why would they be in a hurry? That was my question. Why? Okay. Is the sun going to cross, not to rise from west and set in the west? This is January. We have Feb, we have March, we have April. We are here. We are not dying. That was the question. And I'm here to get an answer from the party. Nobody has answered.
But you do know that the current speaker and deputy, they like unopposed positions.
Yeah. But those unopposed positions should be secured with legitimacy and hygiene. This business, I have been vying. I never believe in procuring being unopposed. Yes, if people don't vie and you come unopposed, yes. But this business of getting money and buying off opponents, I don't think. Yes, I don't think it is clean. I have publicly made this comment. Even me, I can borrow money from a bank and get $1 billion and buy off my opponents and be unopposed. But personally, I believe in tussling it out. If I lose, I lose. If I win, like now, I tussled it with 7 candidates in Chinchiz East and defeated them. I walk with my head very high because it was a tough, stiff competition. But if I had bought off all the 7 and I say I'm a very popular Mochiga from Kanungu, I think to an extent I would be deceiving myself. So that's my approach. So it's okay, they were unopposed. I have no problem with that. But even when you get unopposed, please procure the process in a hygienic manner so that it is credible. That's
let's finish this topic because I like the combative Chris that we have, and I also am going to put to you where else you could have been combative, including not switching off digital online platforms. But
I have already to answer any question from you. I have already to answer any question.
Let's finish this topic.
It was hygienic.
So Lydia, you and Chris are senior people in the NRM, and for us we are surprised you're surprised, because until Rebecca Kadaga wanted another term, all these things were a given in your party. Everyone that
me, I'm not
comes
surprised.
up as speaker is endorsed straight away.
I am not surprised, and I just want to give information.
Right.
Because what we are seeing in social media, which is now forming debate, when SEC sits, and I've been in the party, I'm a founding member of the NRM, maybe I should say that. In 2005, I was in Yala. It's only two of us that flew back to endorse a party, myself and the late Medi Kagwa. The rest went to Reform Agenda and FDC. You remember those 9 that we were. So I have fairly good knowledge about how our party operates and what should be. But let me talk about what you are asking. In SEC, we operate on an agenda, and when we take decisions, those decisions come out as way of resolutions, and these resolutions are listed by the Secretary General and announced by himself as decision of SEC resolutions, or delegated to the Director of Communications. We have a director. And the secretary is supposed to do that. So when I saw some of these debates, I've been looking for the resolution. I've not seen one. So I want to be careful about putting my energy there. But let me give you information. I want to begin with the issue of 2 terms that everybody is singing. The 1995 constitution, the first speaker was the late Wapa. He didn't do 2 terms. He didn't do full term. He did 2 years. And after him, we had Ayumi. He never did 2 terms, or not even. Then he was replaced by Sekandi. Why did we start with Sekandi's 2 term? We had joined multi-party politics, and for every case there is merit to it. We discuss it in its own right. So the issue of Sekandi serving 2 terms, we said we have just joined multi-party. We need to strengthen the party, and let's not change a winning team. So when Second did the 2 terms, it came now to and for every time when we had the Honorable Sekandi, Chris can bear me witness, and the others, he was not unopposed. Other people expressed interest. They were taken to the caucus. It was discussed. They were persuaded outside the race, but we had the 4 or 5 people contesting freely. Then they would discuss with them, and I have participated in all these processes, either as a staff of the institution or as a member. Because I was a staff of the party, then I became a member as a member of the Yala. You become a member of the caucus. So you sit in Uma grounds. Now we've since moved to State House and TV. So I've been around. I'm part of the institutional memory of our party, if you want. So there has never been a time when we just bring to the public 1 person or 2 people without the internal processes. And going forward, fast forward, we developed rules of procedure for the caucus, because that was the time when we had fights, Wakina Dombo, Baryomunsi here, when they were fighting to become parliamentary commissioners. We said, no, we have a party, let's provide processes on how people get elected internally. So what I'm trying to say is that when we are done with the gazetting, and when people begin expressing interest, it's not about speaker and deputy speaker. Oscar, I want you to take note. What we are discussing will affect how we appoint parliamentary commissioners, chairpersons of committees, who goes to Yala. The last meeting I sat in with Chris when we are discussing Yala candidates, we had 78 candidates. but we gave a chance to each one of them when we have only 6 slots. So these rules, we should not play around with them. Pan-African Parliament, committee chairs, deputy committees of chairs, membership to committees, who goes to the Parliamentary Pension Board, somebody is a pensioner now. All these things, there is membership. And for your information, SEC for the NRM and the Parliamentary Caucus of the NRM are the most active organ of the party. That's why we developed rules, because we must have harmony and synergies to provide leadership to the rest of the country and the structures. So we must get it right from the beginning. So for me, I still think that even if SEC, I've not seen the resolution yet, but even if SEC decided that does not stop that debate in the caucus, because finally it will come to the Parliamentary Caucus. And for some good luck, as it has it, I'm now a member of the NRM Parliamentary Caucus, and I'm a member of NEC. So whatever comes from SEC must come for debate. These are proposals, must come for debate and resolution of the Parliamentary Caucus. Okay. So when Sekandi was still speaker, he still wanted to contest to be speaker after that 20 years. But there was a lot of pressure from the NRM Parliamentary Caucus to say, this time we want a women speaker, and Kadaga had been 10 years as speaker. So, deputy speaker. So even at that time, we did not pronounce ourselves automatically. We had to go through. There were other candidates. Remember, Wilfred Nwagaba came as a candidate. Sinseleko Muhammad came as a candidate. Olanya came as a candidate. It's because some of us have been around. Maybe some of our colleagues don't have this information. We are going to be 529 members of parliament, and many of them listen to gang. We hope that they can give us a chance to lay down the memorial lane on how processes work. You might end up with those two, but the process must be followed, in our humble opinion. And that people should be given an opportunity to express interest. It is laid down in the rules of our procedure. That's what has stabilized the party processes of the two organs. And maybe Baryomunsi, you will support me on this. This is one of the biggest gain that we should protect. We are talking about 10 million people not voting. If we begin disenfranchising people, we are going to have answers why 10 million members of the NRM do not come out to vote. This is a question. It's not me who has said it. It is my chairman who said, why didn't 10 million people vote? And this could be part. And me, I'm speaking guarded because I've not seen the resolution. You know, many things happen. You might be getting diverted. We might be debating the air with the diverting us. Okay. I've not seen a resolution, but I've taken an opportunity to explain what happens. It began as a culture. It's now on paper. We have written rules of procedure on how we nominate and appoint people that serve for the first 5-year term of parliament. Committee chairs, IALA, PAP, parliamentary members of parliament who go to the Pan-African Parliament, people who serve at the Parliamentary Commission, all these. And
the other international fora where we
the international forums of the party. Okay. The moment they give us the slots, we appoint. They give us the slots, we appoint.
So let's get these two senior NRMs to first go quiet a bit.
So whatever we are saying is very legitimate.
We have listened.
And we hope that the new members of parliament who didn't have this information can now use this information to remain calm and try to wait for the right time, and we make our case. We will make a compelling case Lydia, for this gain we need to protect.
Parliament. Chris is a former commissioner. Maybe Lydia does not know the power of the current speaker. Is it surprising? Isn't it surprising that maybe Lydia is surprised that SEC can take?
Me, I'm not surprised. I've not said I'm not surprised.
But this question is going.
But I've not seen any result. But don't use my name. But before actually one second, Oscar, let me say something. The president, as chairman of the party, again, Baryomunsi, maybe you can help me on this. He wrote a series of articles before the SEC elections to defend the freedom of members of the party to express interest, even if you join the party today.
Yes.
Because there was a debate when the candidates who are standing against the president were convinced out of the race, and those who are standing against Chigongo, we took 2 days on SEC, convincing those who are contesting against Chigongo, the vice chairperson, to step down. But when we came to the first vice chairperson, we tried to convince the two, even to convince the current second vice to step down for the other, so that we continue in harmony. It was her right to say, I want to contest, and they ended up in Kololo. So this is a story that is in writing. We ended up in Kololo with the two contesting. Ideally, we tried so hard. Chris, didn't we try? Even there was an offer for special nominee, but the one who was contesting refused. So that's where we are now. So people should have an interest, because the president, even in 3-4 articles, he has written defending people.
Now to Abdul.
I cannot explain the power now. Me, I'm explaining what I know.
Without using Lydia's name.
Don't use my name, because me, I don't know the power. I know the rules.
Without using Lydia's name. Are you surprised that they are surprised about the workings of SEC?
Me, I'm not surprised.
Well, these political procedural ramblings from
looks like you left your voice
yes, but half of it
there as well.
That's true, and I am not surprised. You know, whenever there is going to be an election and people are vying for positions, you know, you have all these ambitions. And these two colleagues of mine, from what they are saying, you need to reflect, Oscar, to the speakership race of the 11th Parliament, because that's where it started. And this is going to continue to this particular Parliament. That race left sour taste in some camp, and that has continued. It went to the SEC, and from what Chris is talking about, you can clearly see that he's carrying over the SEC problems now to the speakership race, and many of them. Let me give you an example. When the party organs sat, they decided on the name, I think, of the late Jacob Olanya as the speaker. And there was a rebellion. I am not so sure whether these two in the House currently were not on the other side, but most likely they were on the side of the rebellion. And they carried it over. And even now they are still on the side of the rebellion. Because you see, at that time, I know they were in the other camp. Then eventually it came, the other camp that eventually didn't do well and went ahead and actually fielded a candidate in the name of the Right Honorable Kadaga as against the party organs' decisions. And the rest became a little bit tight and so on. As if matters were not worse, Oscar, the SEC elections came. And again, we had two camps. The Right Honorable Kadaga again, and that of the Right Honorable Anita Mong. And in those SEC elections, clearly the side of Chris, and everybody knows it because it became public, and some of the sentiments he's raising now he was dissatisfied with the process and the products of the people who eventually took over those positions in SEC. I'll give you an example. It is quoted that during the SEC, one of the, I think the vice chairman for Buganda, the Honorable Kasolo, clearly stated that the Right Honorable Anita was supporting another candidate against him, so he cannot support it. Similarly, even in the Baryomunsi's case, there was another candidate supported. Similarly,
which one?
Another one.
I'll even come to the. By the way, to those who are not in the studio, I see Wanyoto is waving to me these rules. Those rules, I wish you were waving them when you are proposing solo candidate for the president.
For 2021.
Because you say, please, stop that. You know, you wave this inconveniently when it. You know, those are the precedents you've set, and I thought you were some sort of lawyer.
Yeah.
So the problem is they have set the standards, and the very standards are now being applied
to themselves,
and now they are trying to fix and run to the rules and so on. Yet at the time when those rules were there, let us look at the last elections when the president was being nominated as a sole presidential candidate. There was even a candidate.
But there was no form for him.
There was one nomination form.
Yeah. Yes, there was only one. Please. Please, Chris and Lydia, when you are talking to Ugandans.
You are implementing the resolution of 2021.
Exactly. But you take us to be fools. Please stop it. Ugandans have been watching what has been unfolding for a long time. So, this is the precedent you've set, and it is catching up with you. Only that now you have personal interest. Now you are running, waving rules all over the place. You see, once you've already set the rules for the solo presidential candidate, and that party organs can set the standards and the decision, and all members are supposed to obey what the party organs. Please sleep in that bed, you've laid it. Please. So these ramblings of yours are ending here. And you can do public relations. And by the way, I think the president is aware that he doesn't want what I think they went through last time. Because the party was really divided with very, very reckless ambitions. Even those who can't manage, they're also coming up. They want to be speakers.
What they will do with the office if a miracle happens.
Yeah, that sort of thing. And now I think he's trying to settle.
Let him finish.
Let us move in a disciplined way.
Yeah.
But as you realize. You know, politicians, they always have these ambitions and so on.
Yes, we also know where you lie.
But he has already said. He has said who he voted.
I have said
you are defending a camp.
And that is okay. And to me, the good thing.
But he has declared his interest. He has told you who he votes. He has said he votes.
First of all,
so that one is parliamentary politics.
Okay, and whatever it is, if you think we have different camps, then that is good. I belong to this camp, but you also belong to the other camp. Then first accept that you do, because you've been lying to ourselves in the rules. Now we will know that you are in the camps.
The rules are here.
Okay.
Now we've got them.
Yeah.
They are saying, by the way, don't think it is all us, including you. Please. So anyway, the point is.
So as a good lawyer, you
they are
think
going. No, you've breached them before, so don't wave it to us. Don't urge them conveniently.
Yeah.
And you are carrying over the problems of last sec to carry it.
Derek Wande. The question remains. Derek Wande, and Abdul has kind of debunked it. He says it should not be surprising. They should not be surprised that the SEC is working in that manner. So are you yourself surprised that they are surprised?
Am I surprised that they are surprised? Even, I don't think they are surprised even. I actually don't think they are surprised. Oscar, we have a very huge problem in this country. We have the way the Honorable is waving around the rules of procedure. We have a problem of using this. We have a very huge and beautiful constitution that the people who govern us will be happy to waive them whenever they want. and hide the constitution under the bed or under the tables whenever it's not convenient for them. I think we need to have we need to develop a central nervous system as a country where we sit on the same table and agree upon that has been agreed from the start. Because if I don't think if things were good, or if Honorable Anyoto and the Honorable Chris Baryomunsi were in the camp that is not being stepped or downtrodden, I don't think they would be waiving the rules of procedure. But now they're doing that because they belong to another side that's downtrodden, and that is very and that is very evident in the entire politics of the country. The president will be very happy to swing around that constitution when it's in his favor. And when it's not, we will see that the katanas will be picked, and it's constitutional how you should arrest someone. It's constitutional. It's jotted down how one should be arrested, the number of hours they should spend in custody of police before they are produced before court. When they are going to arrest the katanas, the constitution is going to certainly be hidden under the table or under the bed. You know,
and the Minister of National Guidance and Information will justify,
and will come, and the minister and the minister will come and say, no, we are still investigating. But it's written how much time do you have to investigate before someone is produced before someone is produced before court. So whether I'm surprised or not, it's just that's the way it is in the country. And like I said, we need Honorable Anyoto to waive that relentlessly, regardless of where she belongs, regardless of whether she's downtrodden or not. Let her waive the rules of procedure. Let her waive that constitution in all circumstances. Let the Honorable Chris Baryomunsi waive that constitution in all circumstances, whether it affects him or it doesn't. But for the fact that when you have so many times been on radio justifying people getting lost and taking weeks and weeks without being produced in courts of law.
On that one, as I said, let's first finish this, and we're going to tackle Chris Baryomunsi on his own.
So for me, I feel
he said he's ready.
This country, the leaders that we have in this country, will use the law when only it doesn't favor them. Yeah. But when it favors them, they will throw it under the table.
Okay. Benjamin Katana, you've maintained good discipline throughout.
I'm always disciplined, unlike NRM people.
That's not what the people out there NRM say about your party. They say your party has very, very indisciplined people.
They are here to confirm today that there is no discipline within their party.
Right.
You know, Oscar, I think it's Proverbs 21 in the Bible that talks about no honor among thieves. And this is not to literally say that these are thieves, but these are people that subscribe to an organization that has thrived on flouting rules. Now, in a country where the national constitution is disregarded, you cannot expect these rules to have a lot of importance. The cherry picking that the prospective speaker, who has now feared, even she's shying away, Lydia here, and Honorable Chris complaining about what transpired in Kororo, they are not at individual level, but organizational level, benefited from similar machinations across the country. We have just had an election where in some constituencies the third person is declared. You saw what was happening at the Kampala Tari Center, Wakiso and everywhere else. So once you allow that culture of no rules being followed, of impunity, then you cannot expect that in the small organization, people are going to follow the rules.
What's a small organization?
whichever it is, the one whose rules you are showing around. So, and I'm sure Lydia is familiar with the doctrine of approbation and reprobation. What you approve, you cannot disapprove. By subscribing to an organization that thrives on flouting rules, you have approved that this is the standard way of doing politics in Uganda. So you cannot come now to disapprove because it disadvantages you. So you must be, and I think, Oscar, you can see the indiscipline of the NRM people. So they know that ultimately, whether the resolution was passed or not passed, but it's the wishes of the party chairman that are going to prevail, not the rules. Not, in fact, they are talking about 2 terms. The current speaker says she's yet to start her first term. She's concluding the one of the late speaker. So the leaders may have to wait for for 15 years to lapse. But because of the culture, of Museveni disadvantaging his opponents using state power, now even Among and others who have some little power, also you want to use it to disadvantage their opponents in the constituency and even at party level. This is the culture. We can only address it comprehensively. You cannot address it at the position of speaker, and you don't address it at the position of head of state, and you think that will work. It can never, because that's the culture that we have built. We must honestly, without cherry picking, focus on how we can change the politics of our country. Whether you belong to NRM, whether you belong to DP or NUP, we must come to the realization that the politics of today, where people with positions of authority are using state institutions and state power to take advantage over their opponents, is disadvantaging the whole country. And ultimately, even those who think they subscribe to the NRM, like Dr. Chris, when it comes to Kororo Sek elections, they will be disadvantaged. So it is injustice is like a flood. Once there is a flood, whether you are in a Karina, whether you are in a Bangaro, you'll all be affected. So for anybody to think that they will come here and complain about not following rules, whatever rules they are called of the party, when you do not want to honestly speak about not following the national laws that govern elections, that govern dispensation of justice in the country, you are wasting time. You are wasting time, and I think we shouldn't even waste a lot of time discussing whether they are following the rules in SEC or not, because that is a small matter.
Right. This is a good time to go for a break.
What about how do they elect?
We'll come back from the break. It was a noisy break. As expected. So, Malcolm, you are on microphone.
Oscar.
I don't know whether we can conclude this one.
I was just quickly going through the rules that
the rules book,
the rules of procedure, and Rule 9.
No, for clarity,
it does not
we're
say
not
the
against
rules.
the speaker or the deputy, but then have the rules been followed? That's the question.
Elections are still
And are you
I'll just say 2 things,
and are
Oscar.
you saying we should not raise
One
it?
is that Rule 9, my reading of Rule 9 in the NRM Parliamentary Caucus rules does not, it provides for the process. It does not directly inform the process, but the process that has happened can be explained under Rule 9, because the SEC determines which candidates are sent to the Electoral Commission, to the Parliamentary Caucus, for voting.
But the process how candidates reach
through the
SEC.
Electoral Commission. And it seems, from what has been reported, that's what has been done. That they are recommending these two to the Parliamentary Caucus.
Are you ashamed of saying this here?
No,
when you are reading the process.
No, I'm not. They are your rules. They are your rules.
When you are reading
Chris.
the process and saying,
Honorable Chris, those are your
while
rules.
they are called for expression of interest,
I'll say.
the name of the process by Electoral Commission, were they sent to say?
We keep going back.
Don't accuse us children.
Honorable Chris, we keep.
I thought this is a civilized debate
I know.
here.
You see, I know this show is being recorded, and at some point we shall also ask you not to reduce us to children.
No,
because
you are giving information.
The rules
you
are
don't know. You ask.
The rules are here.
Yes.
I am
the process is outlined.
Hasn't been. Agreed.
The election are still going on.
Agreed. And the sole candidate, the sole candidature,
nobody should stop me.
the sole candidature of
So
President
Chris, you
Museveni
made that
was
point.
endorsed
Hold on, let's
2021
Malcolm
and
finish
beyond,
speaking and then you come
meaning
back.
that it is possible. There is precedent that has been set that you can sit and agree as a parliamentary caucus, as SEC, and agree that for the foreseeable future, this is going to be the way we are doing things. That is possible. So when this comes back to bite, you should be able to receive it wholesome. It's the proverbial humble pie. The other thing.
Let him finish.
The other thing that-
you'll have time.
No, honestly, you see, the information that is coming from Chris and Lydia
Today.
is today.
Yes.
Today.
Yeah.
You see, it's very okay. It's very okay for the president to write articles.
Yeah.
I think what is most important is what he does, is the actions that are taken. I don't think that, and again, the Constitution is not just a piece of paper. It is how we respond in times of crisis, in times of joy. It is how we respond to people we agree with, people we disagree with. It is not just a piece of paper.
You go back to
so
your
when the president writes his well articulated articles with all sorts of proverbs in there, as usually does, and sends them out, and we read them, and he goes and does something else, there is a problem. When Chris goes on national radio and starts defending the indefensible, starts defending wrong, purely wrong, and waves the Constitution as he tries to do that, or sits on it as he tries to do that, that is wrong. It is more than just a piece of paper.
Okay.
It is the actions that we take, and we must be able to live with the consequences of those actions.
Let's send back that microphone to Lydia. Now, Lydia, you
Just
make
recently during
hold on, Lydia. Hold
see,
on, Lydia. Just 1 second. Now, let the moderator tell you. So, I want you to conclude on this subject. I'm going to switch off all other microphones, and you have way to speak, followed by Chris Baryomunsi. So you start, Lydia. We shall not respond.
My humble opinion on this topic was to give information.
Doesn't have to be humble.
It is humble because now it's to give information about this process, and that for me, I have not seen the resolution. So we might actually be debating air or diversion, because the social media has come, people can play their games. I have not seen. I've told you how SEC operates, so I've given information. Secondly, more information I gave is during the most recent elections of the party that were very hectic, the president wrote 4 series of articles defending anybody in the party that would want to contest, even if you join the bus that very day. So we cannot, I'm just giving you examples for this one case.
True. It applies to some of your senior leaders.
Yeah, so that as long as we do not see this resolution, and fortunately for us, whatever is done in SEC will end up in the parliamentary caucus for debate. So I have not lost any sleep. The election cycle is still on. When we are done with the election cycle, we'll look out for that gazette for the members of parliament, and then we will see how people express interest. And I'll tell our listeners, including you, Oscar, that this debate you brought, it was just a one-off for the 2 positions. But that's what these guidelines, they guide all the so many, over 20 positions
We are here.
of parliament.
Yeah.
Iyala, same.
9 is specific.
Chairperson Z, same. Members of the parliamentary commission, the same process. So you cannot, I'm just giving information, and I hope that the new members of parliament can take off time and read the rules of procedure for the party, because they are still current, and even during the SEC elections, we were guided by the national chairman. It is different from how the elections took place, but the principle was guided that anybody can pick nominations and go through the elections. The quality can be a debate for another day, and Chris told you he's waiting for the report, but he was given the right to tocontest within the party.
Correct.
So I've given this information, and I hope it can help other doubting Thomases and other people. Okay. I am not worried. I am not surprised. I'm only waiting for the election cycle to end, for the Gazette to come out, and for the interest calls to also come out from the NRM Electoral Commission. Then we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
And I will not be surprised if we end up without even agreeing and bringing only one person per position is also a right. But we've done it before. But let's follow the due process. And that's the information I want to give.
Okay.
Yes.
Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, final word on this one. Again, yes. I will insist that you are not interrupted. And we shall listen to you and take in what you say on this topic.
For clarity, it is not necessarily because of personal interest. Like I said, I don't intend to vie for speakership.
Maybe it's not personal interest, but maybe you have a little of anger from the election of SEC
not
previously.
Really. Not really. I have overcome that situation.
Okay.
I served for 5 years, and I am happy with my contribution when I was there. And I have nothing personal against the speaker or deputy speaker. And even when finally we take a decision to keep them for another term, I have no big issue with that one. If I have any comments to make on them, I will make them in the appropriate forum, a caucus, when we are discussing. But the issue we are raising, personally, I have a strong sense of justice, fairness, and following systems. Following systems, yes. And I thought you said I will be
only your microphone is on.
So the point we are just making is that the party has rules, and the rules should be followed. It is not correct, as Hon Katuntu was trying to suggest, that maybe there are camps we are arguing because our camp is not being advantaged and so forth. That is just speculation. That's not the case. But we're just saying the party should run professionally and use the institutional mechanisms to process all these decisions. Like our friend here read the rules. That is the procedure. Let Parliament complete the cycle so that all the members of Parliament are there. Let the Electoral Commission of the party initiate the process. Let those who have the ambition, there are new members of Parliament who want to come, they're ambitious, they want, give them a chance to express those desires. And then the party will process all those applications accordingly. At the end of the day, if SEC says we maintain the two speakers, that's okay. Then they will bring the decision to the caucus and we debate, and we are given a chance to give our views, and we take a final decision. That's what we are saying, that we should just do it in a clean way. Otherwise, if you sit the first sitting after elections, you are concerning a matter which is not an emergency, then you raise suspicion. You raise suspicion. How of the member of Parliament for the elderly or person with disability will be elected as NRM? They haven't been elected. What if he has interest? Why do you? Okay, but PWDs, I think there are some categories. So the point is, why there may be that practice of giving another term, but why would you want to disenfranchise all the other members who are eligible to vie and go into competition? And really, I'm surprised that people like Katuntu, who are very senior, they are taken by probably personal interests instead of looking at it. So that's the point we are just making.
There's no
that we are campaigning anybody.
We were just saying we were surprised that you were surprised.
And for us, we think we are members of the party.
Yeah.
We should have internal clean processes. Those past occurrences we are referring to, if they are wrong, should we carry them? You see, I am young. I chose to join NRM, and we are working hard to make sure that the NRM lives for long. So we must have internal clean processes so that NRM remains a strong party. So if we cannot voice out these concerns, if they are errors, then who will voice them?
And we are
the other day somebody was saying, somebody was commenting, how could you make that comment? Won't they drop you as a minister? I said, no, was I born a minister? Come on. Is everybody a minister? Is everybody a member of Parliament? If I am not in the Parliament, if I'm not a minister, as long as I'm alive, I should have the freedom to say what I feel. My conscience clears.
Okay.
So
Right.
we are on that one.
So
I say all this in a good faith and with my head very high.
Thank you.
And my country.
Good.
And I'm speaking for very many people, by the way, in NRM.
I have Turiaguma Simpson on X, formerly Twitter. He says, today's gang is hot at Abdul Katuntu is speaking humbly. Right. So I've had to adjust topics for the day. Malcolm and Lydia, we're adjusting topics for the day because we have Chris Baryomunsi. So let's have Chris Baryomunsi as a, this is a powerful, Derek Wanda, this is a powerful platform here, the Capital Gang.
Oh yes.
When our members, we send them out there. Like now we have a member of Capital Gang and Capital Radio who's been appointed as head of Uganda Media Center, and the one who was there previously has also been on Gang.
I am actually preparing the instruments to appoint
You are
him.
preparing the instruments to appoint him. Yeah. So you can see the OBs and OGs of Gang. They go places. Now we've sent Lydia to Parliament. We've sent Ofono to Parliament, and Lydia might become Speaker. So then Gang will be.
Katuntu is not happy.
Lydia might become Speaker, and then you can see the influence of Gang. But I want to change the topic to Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, with you beginning the discussion. And I'll start with him because I've been listening to him in international news and the contradictions. So he comes and says this about Bobby Wine, then the CDF says, no, this is what it is. And even this very appointment of Kasuja, it is not Baryomunsi, he's being told through the CDF. So has Dr. Chris Baryomunsi been effective as our Minister for Information and National Guidance?
You mean I'm with the topic now?
You are the topic now.
Okay.
And when I invited you, I said we'll change, and then you'll be the topic.
My profession and career certainly falls very directly into the office of the Honorable Chris. Or docket, yes. Of Chris Baryomunsi, and I know that he can deregister me as a journalist if I spoke badly.
He has promised not to do that.
But there has been a lot of contradiction in the current government in this situation that we are in, especially after, before the election, during and after the elections. There have been so many contradictions, and I would have loved the Honorable Chris Baryomunsi, who has been giving us information, especially about internet, about the disappearance of some of the presidential candidates, about the arrests and the killings. I hoped that the Honorable would give information that is standing, information that is candid, and information that is reliable. Unfortunately, over time, he has spoken. The citizenry have seen as though that is the best he can do. But yet, just before he finishes even the speech, even during him reading the speech, you see a tweet flying, very contradictory to what he's saying. And then you ask, this tweet is flying, and yet
why do you read tweets?
The Honorable here, because social media falls under the docket of the Honorable, should be in charge and say, people, stop using or misusing these platforms. But then the question begs, who is in charge of this country?
Well, let's concentrate on Baryomunsi, not the country.
And all these things are happening. By the time the Honorable comes, by the time the Honorable comes and says, we are not looking for Bobby Wine at all, and even before he finishes, a tweet comes, we are looking for Bobby Wine,
a video,
and whatever. Honorable, I feel sometimes your powers have been usurped, to be honest. And as a communicator, you know that we are supposed to communicate effectively. But each time you find yourself in a position where your communication is contradictory to what is happening and the reality on ground, then you need to check yourself. You need to find whether you should actually make that communication anyway, or you need to wait. Probably you have been rushy in making some of these communications, or you have not double-checked, ticked all the boxes of effective.
Let's go to Benjamin Katuntu. The topic is
I think
Benjamin.
The Honorable
Benjamin. Topic is Dr. Chris Baryomunsi. Has he done, as an OB of gang, we are assessing him, has he done a good job?
Well, I want to...
Predictably, as NUP, you may say he hasn't.
I want to cut Dr. Chris some slack. The circumstances in which he's serving as a Minister of Information, and people are expecting him, it is not within his docket to control the behavior of the Chief of Defense Forces. For him, he will give a position. So if you have... he has a very hard job. You see, the challenge with longevity in office of the head of state comes with what others call family rule, where members of the family consider themselves above people who hold formal positions in the government, and they believe that they are indeed in the real power matrix, they are way above the prime ministers and the vice presidents. And I think that speaks to the current situation where the Minister of Information gives a position, and I don't think if the current CDF was a person outside the family of the head of state, he probably would be in jail, even on account of the comments he has been making, because we have very many young people who are serving sentences for threatening people on social media reportedly. And then you have one who is saying, I'm going to castrate so and so, I'm going to behead so and so, even releases photos of soldiers on his command assaulting wife of one of the political leaders, and then nothing happens to him. And I think it would be unfair for us to come and want to attribute that to Dr. Chris as a Minister of Information. The person maybe...
I heard him on BBC saying we are not looking for him, he's free to do what he wants.
It is misleading. His statements are misleading in that particular regard, because for one to have well-founded fear, it is not just on account of statements from a minister, but on account of actions. You have had the army break into his home. Actually, now they have even erected tents in his compound. They broke into his home, destroyed the doors, assaulted his wife, and they are assaulting her in the name of asking her for the whereabouts of the husband. We have seen the Chief of Defense Forces saying we have ordered soldiers to bring him in, dead or alive. So it is not true that he's not being looked for. We have had cars stopped on the road by soldiers. People are being asked to get out. Those who are found with pictures of him on their phones are taken in. We have his deputy presidents missing, not accounted for, and one of them in jail. The rest, they were abducted. We don't know where they are. Maybe now that we have the benefit of having Dr. Chris on this show, he will tell us where those people are, because there is evidence. Yes, the slack I'm cutting him is that these problems are not attributable to him as a Minister of Information, but he finds himself in an enviable position of speaking for a government that has gone rogue, and he's using the state infrastructure to do politics, disadvantage opponents, torture and harass opponents, akin to what the Amin government was doing, except that now they have a polished spokesperson who comes and says, no, we don't have them. But while he's doing it, then someone more senior in the power matrix comes and says, no, we have them. We have, you remember some time back when he said we have Edmuto in our basement, and the man came out with torture marks. So that's what has come to characterize the NRM government as it is now. anybody in the position of Dr. Chris will be giving contradicting statements, because the NRM government now has become like the Tower of Babel. The official government channel is saying one thing, the family channel, which is for all purposes and intent, in charge of the country. I remember even him, he has been a subject of threat. One time I think he was on one of the talk shows and he contradicted, and the man said, but I remember planning with my father to arrest you that time. That was a threat. So he's also a prisoner like all of us, waiting for his time to be waiting for his time to be taken in. So it would be unfair for anybody to expect him to now start bringing to order someone who is
let's go to Malcolm.
Above the law, as it is.
Malcolm, talk properly.
Lydia is asking me to talk properly, so I can avoid the basement and make it to and make it to my son this afternoon.
The topic is Chris Baryomunsi, but now that we've all the politics that you can refer to cases, was he responsible for switching off digital internet?
He was,
that is in his docket.
He was the face of it. I don't know if he was responsible for it, but certainly became the face of it, as he has come to be the face of many other things. You know, I think that sometimes you wonder whether to feel sorry for people who are in this position, and spokespersons, apologists for regimes like this that are blatantly repressive tend to make things worse than even the actors themselves, because you normalize injustices out there, you defend the indefensible, and you become the face of what is going on, and have to answer hard questions and become a topic on gang yourself. I think that, just like my colleagues have said, there is a lot of miscommunication that is happening, but that is not necessarily is by design, because this government has been very, very clear on the destruction of institutions. So it is individuals' voices that are louder than those of institutions. Dr. Baryomunsi represents an institution, but what he says in defense of that institution, then some individual's voice is actually louder, and he comes off like he's speaking from both ends of his mouth. And that is, I don't know, it's very brave to find yourself before the camera and the ability to really speak and defend some of these things, but they say it's a very thin line as well. So you know, it's a slippery slope. I always watch the press secretary, sometimes with envy of the US president, and that how
also has a problem.
It's a tough job. It's a very tough job, and maybe also to advise, you know, Chris just shared with us how he joined the NRM when he was young, has ambitions of NRM sticking around longer. Some of the things that are happening now, some of the tweets that are going out now are not necessarily constructive in that manner. And I hope you have the sensibility to say that.
No,
he
said it.
Because when you speak, when you speak
Malcolm,
for, yes,
he said it last week. I listened to him on the BBC. He said those are mere tweets.
But that is an apologist now.
When as soon as he had finished speaking, the tweets came through, and the things the tweets said happened.
And you see, this is it. That when you become an apologist for a situation that you have no control over. And at the end, and it's even bigger than just a tweet that I don't want to go into the details of the tweets, but you know, and an apology came through and an apology came through, which I think is as sincere as the 72% that NRM won with just over half of the population voting. I think that we need to. Again, half of the population voting. Half. I know the other 10 million were all NRM and they didn't vote. But I think we need to get a grip. Because when you talk about a constitution that you want to defend, when you talk about rules and procedure being important, then let us put our money where our mouth is and actually call out these things when they happen. Irrespective, again, like Chris says, he was not born a minister. And people have been to the basement and they have come out. So you say what needs to be said, put people in their place, and let some sanity prevail.
Right. So we are going to stop for a quick break, and after the break, I'll start with you, Abdul Katuntu, and then Lydia, and then on to Chris. Back from the break. This is the Capital Gang. Abdul Katuntu on microphone. Guma Agre says the seat is hot for Chris, but I like the resilience in him.
He's just a Muchiga. Muchiga are notorious for being resilient.
Well, we have two in the studio now with Malcolm there as well.
Oh, I almost thought so.
You almost thought so?
I almost thought so.
You actually,
That's why he's not talking properly.
I didn't train him. I need to build his capacity.
of being resilient.
Being resilient.
You see, Oscar and colleagues, Chris has a difficult job. And it's not only unique to Uganda. All countries, government spokespersons are always in this sort of tricky position. What I think I can counsel Chris is, before he comes out public, because you see, you had this center, you call the media center. It was put up specifically for coordination of government communication. I think it was started by Robert Kabshenga. And at that time, they realized there was a lot of uncoordinated communication of government agencies. So they put up one central place where you can communicate one clear message and so on. I don't know whether, as we talk now, that center is effectively manned in terms of human resource. They make the necessary consultation with people that matter before they go public. Chris, as long as you have these journalists who wake up and they are ringing you and you must give a comment, you are going to find yourself in these sort of circumstances. You say this and then eventually a power center says something different, especially in this
but who
era.
Must give the information? It's still Chris that should supply the information.
Yes, but before you go public, you now need to check, cross-check, double-check, a million check, and maybe even confirm before you. Otherwise, you will not look very good, because you say something and eventually a tweet comes flying all over the place, and then it is you who looks not very good. So it's a very difficult position he's in. I only counsel that you need to be more coordinated. You need to be more effective in terms of consultation, especially on issues now of security, because looks like even if you are talking to your colleague, the minister may not give you the correct information. Yes, double or both. So you might end up talking to either the CDF himself. You need to have a channel of communication between your office and the CDF, such that whatever the CDF says, you're already aware and you know how to manage it. And maybe if you think it is not the correct thing, you advise the CDF that please let me communicate on your behalf, other than you communicating directly. But these are issues you have to talk together with the CDF himself or with the appointing authority.
But don't they also have Kanomagezi and General Kulaije?
All those, whatever they are supposed to be under.
Addicted to both previously.
That's where the problem is. So even if it's Kanomagezi supposed to be under Chris, all the communication officers within government are supposed to be under him. So this, the late Paul Man called it uncoordinated movement of troops, is what we are saying. And like I think Malcolm is saying, the spokesperson of the White House has a very difficult job. So is Chris.
Lydia, you're on microphone now. And don't worry, even you, when we shall assess you, because
on what?
We are sending you to Parliament. We don't.
Okay.
We are sending you to Parliament.
But first of all, you must listen to the people of Mbale who sent me in Mbale City. You supported me though. So you have that right.
I supported all the gangsters.
Yeah, you
did. Some did not.
Yeah. I think for Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, do what you believe by your docket is right. You cannot be running around to find out what else other people are going to say. At the end of the day, you will be analyzed or you will be treated to what you say. And it is good that you say it in timely, because in the course of consultations, you might even lose time, because Twitter is so fast, media is so fast, and the public is waiting to listen. So as long as you're Minister of Information, if you have the right information from cabinet most of the time or from the principal, say it as is, because you are the mouthpiece of government. It does not matter who else says what, because at the end of the day, the people will know where the right information is, or if you are being challenged by alternative information, it is up to their business, because you choose to read Twitter. You also choose to read what's coming from the media center. That's all I can say. Because if you are going to listen to other people and everybody, you will not do your work. Social media is awash with all sorts of speculation. I don't know whether I'm saying it right. Yeah.
Chris,
all manner of debate.
Yeah.
So as a minister for information, you cannot afford not to be deliberate and intentional, but also focused. As long as your source of information is the right source of information. And please do it with speed. Because when you deal with, we have a minister who is so lousy, it takes days to answer. So I'm proud of you, because it seems like you are in the hot plate, but you hang in there. Others would be dodging some bullets. But in a timely manner, you say whether it is good or bad for some people, but you've said it, which is very important for the docket. Although I do not envy your docket. Like Hon Katuntu has said, it is not unique to Uganda. You remember the information minister of Iraq, remember the information ministers of information world over. It's a tough job. So I don't know what will happen if you are not in that docket.
Chris, on the microphone.
Yes.
Dr. Chris
the president of
under
Uganda
assessment.
Appointed me to serve as a minister responsible for information. And part of my responsibilities is to handle the function of government spokesmanship. And therefore I am the official spokesperson of the government of Uganda. And I consult widely before I issue statements, because like the Hon Katuntu said, we have the Uganda Media Center, but also all departments of government have spokespersons. But I coordinate their work. And the Media Center is functioning. It has staff, technical people. Like the other day when I issued a statement, I didn't author it myself. It is authored by my team at the Uganda Media Center. I look through it, edit it, and then issue it. So it's not that I just wake up and just start talking anyhow. And like these issues of security, I consult widely with the army, with the police, with the CMI, ISO, intelligence. So by the time I issue a statement, it's not a personal opinion or a statement. Even at times where necessary, I consult the president for clearance of some of the information that I issue. So I am not as reckless as people may think that I just wake up and because I want the camera and microphone and just talk anyhow, because you are communicating not only to Ugandans but the whole world, and people listening to you as a government minister. But I use the principle of the need to know. Whatever I have, I don't have to tell it to the public. Like when we sit in the cabinet, we make many considerations, we make resolutions. I tease out what I should tell the public. Some information is internal, and then I tease out what I should tell the public. That's how I've been doing my work, of course. Of course, when you are speaking for government, you are not like a person selling ice cream. You are not going to be liked by everybody. Like in this period, we have just come from elections. These post-election tensions. So whoever has the misgivings with the government will just put all the venom and attacks on you. But I have a thick skin. Actually, if abuses and insults would kill, I would be dead by now. I told the president one time that I am the most abused minister in this government. But I don't mind. I don't mind. Now, regarding the CDF does not speak for the government of Uganda. It is beyond record. But he likes Twitter communication. And he writes tweets. At times I do not read them. Then shortly he deletes them. And I'm sure Ugandans have formed an opinion on his tweets. And I don't think, other than for purposes of politicking, I don't think they take them as the official position from the government of Uganda. Like when he said, I am going to hang Dr. Besigye by June 6th. So did he hang him? So did Ugandans believe that actually Besigye was aligned for hanging? So I think more or less. No. So I think many right-thinking Ugandans, save for the politics and what, they just know he likes tweeting. At times he tweets and he deletes and so forth. And I have been, for the record, saying those as a government spokesperson, I treat them as casual comments he makes on social media through Twitter. I have discussed this issue with the appointing authority, with the president. Admittedly, his tweets make my work a little bit difficult because of a contradiction. That's why even the other day BBC was asking. But the head of the army has said they are looking for
the head of opposition.
Yes. But I had consulted widely within the government by the time I said no, he is not a wanted person. And even as I speak today now, the position of the government is that there are no charges against Kyagulanyi. He is hold on. He is in hiding on his own. I don't know what he's hiding from. If we came and reached home, nobody would arrest him.
Someone has said he wants to castrate him. Isn't that enough to make you hide?
Not just someone.
No.
Not just someone.
Not just someone.
I do not condone, I have said even in the parliament, I do not condone beating anybody, whether the Honorable Kyagulanyi or his wife, because the wife of Kyagulanyi, being a wife to a new president is not a crime. If there are any charges the government wants to prefer against her, they should arrest her and take her to courts of law. So that is wrong. And if she was, and I have been on record saying, if indeed she was assaulted, that would be wrong and we condemn it. The deployment at the Honorable Kyagulanyi's home, his home is of security interest. I'm sure you would appreciate. He's the head of NUP, has been a presidential candidate. He came second. There are these tensions. Do you know, for instance, if the home was left, some wrong elements, just
your home broken doors in your house because you have gardens.
We shall find out, and it would be wrong if they broke into it. That could be acts of indisciplined people. But
the CDF has confirmed with pictures.
With
pictures.
And some of us don't.
Malcolm and
some of us don't
let him
approve
give
that.
him.
We don't approve that,
Yes,
and
he has not been
it should be investigated.
Yeah, but it doesn't
And I
make
think,
it.
Hold on. Let him first finish.
This is your problem. You have asked me to talk. I am saying the Honorable Kyagulanyi is not a wanted man. The tweets notwithstanding, That is the position of the government. And that would be wrong to damage his home or even insult anybody. Now, the light deployment at his house, you would all appreciate that the Honorable Chaguranyi is not an ordinary Ugandan in these circumstances. Supposing you left his home, which he has left, he has abandoned, unattended to, some wrong element can go and burn that house. Now, what would be the interpretation of Ugandans? You say government has burnt his house. So, in our assessment, I was needed to put some deployment for security purposes. But also, like I said in the parliament the other day, not anyone to organize and turn the residence into a public disorder hub. That's the word I used. So it is basically for monitoring and ensuring that there is peace and stability, but not to injure members of the family, not to chase them, but to ensure that the situation is managed. And therefore, it is harmless. The security which is there is harmless. Now, would you want, for instance, all Ugandans to go and converge there? Any responsible government would regulate that, because he is a political actor. So it is in that spirit.
Oh, you are going to have
so it is in that spirit that the security is there. But I think as the situation normalizes, they should be able to live. So regarding my job, finally, I will do my job and do it to the best of my abilities. Like the other people were challenging me, why are you talking about Dr. Kizza Besigye? And I was saying, the wife of Dr. Kizza Besigye made a public allegation that Dr. Besigye is dying in Luzira, and because it's the hands of government has neglected him. That was a statement. And that's a serious one, because Dr. Besigye, again, is not an ordinary person. I had to cross-check and get information. Like now, I get briefs every morning. I can really tell you his blood pressure today, the morning, his body temperature, how he is. So I came to clarify that, Dr. Besigye is in the hands of government in the prison. He got a minor ailment. His doctors were called in. He was taken to a private clinic of his choice. It was managed. He has stabilized. He is out of danger. He is not worrying. And then all charlatans in the town are now advising me, medical ethics. I am a skilled doctor, trained in medical communication. But because now with the social media, the abuses I have got, I had to clarify, because if Dr. Besigye just dies, it would be an embarrassment to the country. And I am duty bound to be honest and be truthful. So some people wanted me to say, yes, he's dying. So why would I say that when I am giving an honest view? Because nobody would want the... No, I am a politician, but I'm also medically qualified, unfortunately.
No, I think he has made a case.
Because I was a government spokesperson, I had to give the view of government, which was as honest, as possible.
So I will speak about that side.
So despite,
because he's not the one who imprisoned him. I think it is okay for you to speak about that side, because you are not the one who imprisoned him. But the people like the lawyers here, Malcolm, Katuntu, Katana, Wanyoto, are the ones now who need to take on the legal side of things.
Absolutely. So me, my duty, so Oscar, my duty was to clarify to the public that yes, Dr. Besigye is in the Luzira, but is not in the danger as it is being reported. That's the point I just made. So, regarding my work, as long as I am the Minister of Information, I will do my best. These contradictions of the CDF and the tweets, we shall handle them internally. And we are doing our own internal consultations.
What do you mean by we?
We, the who speak for government.
Okay.
Including guiding him and advising him on how to responsibly use social media, because we have guidelines on how social media should be used, and he's among those to benefit from that guidance, so that even when he tweets, he should not cause contradictions and confuse the public regarding what the government is saying. So when you hear my statement, then take it as the official position of the government of Uganda. And it's a process statement where he consulted widely, including sometimes the president of the country.
Just a small question. Would you be able to speak about whether the people in that home that you said there's a light tent and so on, are they getting supplies or whatever, or what Katana is saying, they've been blocked?
I have not got a detailed technical brief about the deployment. I've been consulted on the phone. Maybe I may need to visit there myself so that I can be a little bit authentic regarding how heavy the deployment is, the access control, who is allowed in and out, so that I can be more authoritative. Maybe I undertake to visit physically there and then see. But my view is that it would be wrong to harass anybody, because standing as a presidential candidate on opposition ticket is not a crime. So Mr. Chaguranyi having run against President Museveni is not a crime, unless if he commits any other crime and is charged before courts. But having been a candidate, there is no justification to harass him or any members of his family. No.
Abdul, we are concluding the show. I'm not so sure which conclusions we can have. The future of Uganda, the future of the Minister of Information.
The future is very bright.
I said you are the lawyers, and then you burst out quickly. Are we the ones who imprisoned Dr. Besigye? Is a year in prison? I mean, even these days, you in the judiciary, a simple matter of bail you don't touch.
Yeah, yes and no. One, Chris, you see, this thing is not about personal. You know, me. No. You see, what we are looking at is government communication. There is a position which government says Chris is the spokesperson. Yet, on the ground, there's something different. I think that's where the point is. Not that anybody doubts that you are the government spokesperson. Yes, what are you communicating? That's the question. You cannot communicate, for example, that everything at Chagulanyi's house is okay, and yet all the door locks are broken. And then there are these other pictures, footages we are seeing on social media. It puts you in a very difficult position. And that's why I still insist that you need to do a lot of consultation so that whatever you say does not appear to be contradictory to what is on the ground. Because if that happens, then people never take you seriously. They say, well, government says this, but it does a different thing. That's the point we've been trying to make. But like all of us are agreeable, it's not very easy. We are not living in very easy times. So you will have these contradictions and turbulences, especially soon after elections. Elections themselves are a turbulence. And it's going to take a little bit of a few months to settle down, because everybody is trying to do a political scoring point here and so on. Some legitimate grievances, some politicking. So you must have a balancing act. Having said that, I think we go back to what you are saying about lawyers and so on. You see, in situations like this, the law suffers and suffers greatly. And then even the rule of law comes under question. And once that happens, even the judiciary goes on trial. It's something where, and you guys who are managing this office, you need to do a balancing act. We need to move beyond elections, first of all of us as a country. Elections are gone. So the communities must go back to ordinary lives and so on, and it's not going to be all that easy. So all institutions should make that transition smoother. Don't make it worse. And Chris, that's where the problem is. As you communicate, you need to look at the wider good. What is it that you can say that calms down the situation or makes the situation worse? Security forces need to do the same. What is this that can do because a few people are not happy with what went on. Do we have that anger pushed on, or do we have to find a way of calming the situation and the country moves on? You know, this is like a death. When death has happened in the family, it's like the whole world is coming to an end. But eventually you have to move on, whether you want it or not. Elections are over. This country must move on. And all institutions of state should make it easier than doing things that will complicate the situation.
Mr. Wandera, Derek Wandera, the Abdul brings in, I brought in the angle of law. I saw, was it this week? 100 people being charged and sent on remand. And then you look at the charges, and I don't know when Chris is going to speak about that. And there are lawyers here. But are all these things he must speak about? There's Sam Mugumya, there's, I forget who else has disappeared. Are they all in the docket of Minister of Information?
Certainly, there has to be a point where the Minister of Information has to communicate to the country about the entire state of being of people, especially when you look at the security aspect. And the Sam Mugumyas who have disappeared from a hotel now coming to 3 months. Their whereabouts are not known. The Lina Zedriga, the deputy president in charge of the North for the National Unity Platform, it's coming to now 3-4 weeks. Her whereabouts are not known. The Jole, the deputy president of the NUP from the western part of the country, is now also making in a couple of weeks, and her whereabouts are not known. People will begin questioning whether who is safe in the country, and with consultation from all security apparatus, then the information has to come to the Minister of Information to realign people's fears that maybe these people are being kept somewhere for this and this purpose. But now, I know, of course, we have all agreed, and he also agrees that he has the most difficult job in this country, probably more difficult than that of the president, until the president tells us otherwise. We always are waiting for information. Information shapes debate. Information shapes feelings, and it's very pivotal in getting Ugandans trust the government. Where it breaks that trust is when the Honorable Baryomunsi comes and speaks to us, and all of a sudden we feel that probably Dr. Baryomunsi doesn't know what's happening, or his powers have been usurped, or he is actually twisted in one way or the other to speak. I don't think Dr. Baryomunsi can ever be there to sanitize something. There are these elements and there are these conditions within which he is working, and I pity my boss, because if you have to speak what is official, and someone who is supposed to be under you by all intents and purposes says something different from you, then we wonder where power really lies. Of course, many Ugandans know where the power lies, but again, Doctor, you have the most difficult job. I listen to more Ugandans every day through doing my stories, interact with different people. And I think the Honorable Hon Katuntu said that some people will not take you so serious when you put yourself into that kind of position. Sit back, reflect, and see if you're proud about most of the statements you put out. Because it comes from a personal conviction that you say this today, and then tomorrow something else has happened, and it washes away everything that you said. Even when it was in good faith, everyone will think that maybe the Minister of Information is not informed, or is not doing things for the people.
Where I disagree with you is the last bit of advice, but again, I will debate that with you.
Are you advising that I just resign and leave?
That's what I would do.
So, Benjamin Katana.
It's not a quitter.
We are at the end of a program. For you, as a treasurer of NUP opposition, what would you like the Minister of Information to do?
I don't think my wishes would be of any consequence.
No,
because because even the minister is now in auto. He may listen, but the circumstances will compel him to act otherwise. But in some cases, and I think he has, wherever he has been emphasizing his medical background and how he cannot be educated on ethics. But I think we have also had very celebrated professionals being charged and found culpable for breaching professional standards. And I'm not saying, because he's not Dr. Besje's personal doctor, I'm not saying he has breached professional standards, but common sense and common decency require us to, when we are speaking about certain subjects, to speak about them in a different way. It would be improper for me, if I knew anything about Dr. Chris's health, to come and discuss it, that he's suffering from this disease or that disease. It would be unpalatable. So I think while I'm not a doctor and he is, I think that one is off the line. But number two, regarding his attempt to minimize what has been happening at the home of our leader, it's unfortunate and absurd that he's trying to minimize it, because where you have soldiers breaking into someone's house, destroying doors, beating up the wife, and you have the chief of the army coming out to confirm that these are the videos of the lady being treated in the most inhuman manner, and you say it is for his security. If someone's security means that you assault his wife, that you break doors of his house, that you turn his compound into an encampment, I think it is very embarrassing that the government can take such a position and want to justify it.
Malcolm, we are concluding. Capital Gang.
Yeah, I think I'll join my colleagues in further sympathizing with Dr. Baryomunsi.
He only found out today that you're a Mchiga as well. he didn't know why you are combating.
Actually,
or is a Mchiga?
No, actually, I have very close relatives in Rujeyo, Bukunga specifically, which is exactly. He's actually been to my home, my second home. He just doesn't know that I am a child of that home.
When I was being squeezed there.
But I think that Dr. Chris is wrong to dismiss the Chief of Defense Forces tweets as mere tweets. I think that is unfortunate.
Things have happened.
Because things have actually happened.
There's a basement.
There is a basement. People have been in there. They have come out. They have told stories, and there's been tweets that have proudly praised the idea of a basement. So they're not mere tweets. The Office of Chief of Defense Forces is a highly critical office for national security. So the person in that office, their conduct, their tweets, their actions and inactions all speak to national security. When a tweet like that goes out and comes back and is deleted and an apology, but the US government chooses to respond the way they have responded, it means they are taking it more seriously than a mere tweet. I can tell you that very many Ugandans, myself inclusive, take those tweets as more than just mere tweets. They have in the past.
I said myself, take those tweets more than Chris Baryomunsi, but
that's what I mean. So we need to guard, and as Minister for Information, we need to guard the space where truth is told, that truth does not be telling the truth does not become a crime, because when that happens, then tyranny is what becomes law, and it will be very unfortunate.
Let's get Lydia, and we'll have Dr. Chris Baryomunsi giving the last word.
I think we should support Chris to do what he thinks is right, because he's a minister of information. If he tells that he consults widely, then we should also believe in him, because he cannot stop a tweet coming up in the middle of the night, then in the morning it is deleted. Surely it's up to you to follow it. For me, I want him to remain intentional and deliberate about his docket. But what we've heard from him, maybe we shouldn't have, is he says that he consults widely. I think that's what we would be worried about if he doesn't consult. But if he consults, we give it to him. I am one of those that must make a personal confession. I do not envy his docket. We struggle and be in many places, but being a Minister of Information and ICT, it's not a cup of tea. So you can add that. So for me, Oscar, that's where I want to stop, and I've given that information. And I wish him good luck. Maybe even in the next cabinet, he should be still the same. Should be the same minister. I wish him good luck.
To which one?
The higher position.
Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, our OB here on Gang, you are speaking last on this show.
Yes.
And we have all of 4 minutes left.
Okay. Thank you very much for the constructive comments, and I take them seriously, and they will help me to improve the way I do my work. The way I work, when I am given a responsibility, I do it with a lot of zeal and enthusiasm.
I remember parliamentary commission.
Like when I was a parliamentary commissioner, and they were fighting for the late Nevanda. And I was even imprisoned and spent Christmas night in the cells. And I remember telling the president, you are saying, I say I'm a medical doctor. I told him, as a medical doctor, I am trained to defend and speak for the dead. And yesterday I was telling people in Parliament that what I did then was, I still feel very proud that I made that contribution. And I said, God forbid, if what happened again, I would still do the same. So now I am in the docket of information. I try my level best to do my job, and I love my job. Of course, it has challenges, but still I will do it. And I try to ensure that I am as honest as possible, as truthful as possible, and I do my best. Of course, those on the receiving end, some appreciate, others not appreciate, they abuse, they insult, but those are the occupational hazards associated with this kind of work. Yes, there are contradictions within the government, especially the tweets from the CDF, but we shall internal continue to manage them so that we have a harmonized way through which we communicate the public. I agree that when I give a communication and then the head of the army is giving something contrary, we confuse the public. They say, now whom do we believe? The minister is saying this, the one heading security is saying this. So it's a challenge on our part within the government to harmonize within, and I'm making all attempts to ensure that we harmonize so that when the communication comes out, it should come out neat, and it should not confuse Ugandans, and should reflect what the reality is. Because I don't communicate to deceive people. Like I said the other day on TV, that when I communicate to inform, not to please people. Because there are those who want you to tell them what they should hear. I will not do that. I will just give what I feel is honest, truthful from the side of government. So I will continue doing that job, because my duty is to inform Ugandans what is going on. But my last word would be, we are done with elections, presidential, parliamentary. Now the local governments are about to conclude. Yes, after elections, there are usually tensions, because there are people who have won, there are people who have lost, there are those who are grieved. So we are managing that post-election tension. So we expect all this tension. We must manage it well and be accommodative.
Our
so
leaders.
On our side as a government, we should not be ruthless, especially somebody who has lost and maybe is aggrieved. But I also appeal to our friends in the opposition. We are all Ugandans, and we are all trying to make a better Uganda. We may be proposing different routes through which we can make that better Uganda, but Uganda can accommodate all of us. There is a need for that toning down from us in the government, from those in the opposition,
from
and
everyone.
the wider public, so that together we can forge Uganda.
To have discussions like
these ones, yes.
Whether
so
we disagree or not.
To have a Uganda that works for all of us.
Okay.
All of us would want peace, would want prosper.
Thank you so much,
and that's the spirit we should promote as
for powering the gang today. We've had our OG and OBs of gang return, and they have enjoyed Star Cafe. So Star Cafe has been missing you as well, Abdul, Lydia, and Chris. PLE results are out. We hope your child performed well. School will start soon. Continue listening to us on our social media platforms. We apologize for last week. We had not switched off the internet. Dr. Baryomunsi is the one. People were blaming Capital Radio. But so sorry at the time. You did. So, and the biometric machines. But we shall get you back next week to talk about those. I am Oscar Semoyam Soke, and I shall see you next week.